to serve in Congress. Congressman Sestak, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
It's good to be here, Rachel.
What is your reaction to Lieutenant Choi's impending dismissal from the Army as a result of Don't Ask, Don't Tell?
First, Lieutenant, thanks for your service to our nation. And I think this is indicative of the kind of quality of man and woman that we have lost. Look, I went to war, and we knew by surveys that when I went to war that we had a certain percentage in that carrier battle group. And when I was on the ground briefly in Afghanistan, that were gay. And now we come back to America and say they don't have equal rights. I've never understood it. This is something where we have to correct this. It's just not right. I can remember being out there in command, and someone would come up to you and start to tell you, and you just want to say, no, I don't want to lose you. You're too good. Congress, with this president, needs to act upon this. I have appreciated that the president is rightly focused on economic security and now with his budget, but I believe this summer or early this fall that we need to correct this.
When the president says, Admiral Sestak, when he says that it could be slow going in part because it has to move through Congress, and again, we know this because he wrote it in a handwritten letter to somebody who's currently being kicked out of the military, as Lieutenant Choi is, he's essentially saying that Congress will be part of the reason that this needs to go slow. But you're saying that this could actually happen quite quickly.
I think it could, yes. I think the president, as commander-in-chief, needs to be the one that says to the military, and I understand what Secretary Gates said recently about their plates kind of full. That's not the Defense Department's decision. This is the commander-in-chief's decision to say we need to change it, which he has. I'd like to see us move it by this summer, and I think we can. We had hearings a year ago, and I'm a co-sponsor of the bill, and I testified at it, but we never got it out of committee. But I honestly believe with this particular president, let's just re-emphasize that everyone is created equal.
Do you think, Congressman Sestak, do you think that as an interim step, if it can't be done by this summer, if it can't be done sometime soon for some reason, do you think that the president could order the military to stop investigating whether people are gay? Just stop implementing the policy for now until it can be reviewed, until Congress has a chance to decide if they're going to act on the matter. Would that be wise?
I'm not sure. The reason I only say this is we are a nation of laws. And in this last administration, we saw executive actions that seem to bend, if not break, those laws. And even though it's for the right reason right now, I'd like to see us take this on right now, begin the process. And I know there's several of us veterans here, Patrick Murphy, Eric Massa, myself, warriors, veterans like the lieutenant, that want to, as Ellen Tauscher, who is the primary mover of this, goes off to the State Department, that we can pick it up as co-sponsors and hopefully rapidly move it. If it's a law, I think we should do it by due process. It's not that I don't want the president to do it the other way, but the last lessons that we learned the last 8 years, let's do it, and we should be doing it.
Congressman Sestak, since we have you on, I would be remiss if I did not ask you if you have made a decision yet on whether to challenge Arlen Specter for the Democratic Senate seat in Pennsylvania. I should say that on the subject, we tried all day today to try to verify Senator Specter's position on Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and we're not able to get any sort of explanation from him of his position on that subject yet. We're hoping to get one, but have you made a decision about whether or not to challenge him?
I haven't, but I will say that the decision for having him, having left his party, come over here, actually has moved me much more closely to it. I respect the political Democratic establishment in Washington made this decision, but we're independent in Pennsylvania, and I believe that we need to make that decision. And my concern right now is having watched Arlen vote against the president's budget that's going to retool our economy, health care, which is costing us $100 billion a year in loss of economic productivity, education, and energy reform. So my take on this is that I'll continue to watch for a bit. But I have to tell you, I'm very serious that if we don't have an individual who believes in the policy, and then when you look at them and see the cut of their jib, so to speak, and say, will he be there with us, not just today, but after the election, up through 2016, I am not going to hesitate to get in this race because the future, Rachel, is just too important. There's many issues, from health care to energy and others, that I think have moved me and kind of given me a little bit more fire in the belly to say, this is not right. And I think I'll watch for a bit, but it'll be a bit.
Before we go, I want to bring back in Lieutenant